Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready
Ready for what?
to level up?
Okay, girl, let's get started. Friends, welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
On today's episode, we'll be talking about something we have major withdrawals from and can't wait to get back to right after the pandemic, which is traveling.
Oh
So
my
today's
God.
I
Yes.
know. So today's episode is dedicated to us reminiscing our travels and, talking about why traveling is important and planning basically life after the pandemic.
Heck yeah. So, if you're scared or paranoid or unsure if you want to go back to traveling, you should listen to us because Raman and I love traveling and we've been planning for this moment of getting our second dose. Raman and I have been waiting to get our second dose, which will be hopefully soon, so we can go back to traveling. And honestly, I don't know about Raman, but I need a freaking R&R trip. I need a trip where I can just go lay on a beach and not think about time, what day it is, or look at my phone. I just need to fucking just be there in the moment and do nothing.
Absolutely. I don't know what kind of friends we would be if we both didn't love traveling so much and didn't feel the same way we did without it. Cause I completely am on the same page with you. There was a point where I was like, okay, I want to go here, I want to go here. But I think after the pandemic, everybody just wants to be on an all inclusive. Like they just want to lay on
Yeah.
a beach, chill, um, kind of like
Have
do what we've
unlimited
been doing.
drinks.
Unlimited drinks, kind of what we've been just doing at home, laying down and doing nothing, but do it on a vacation with no work and just enjoying the sun and the weather. And especially with us like living in Ontario, not getting amazing weather here all the time. We get like
Yeah.
a 3 month summer. So we're definitely looking for some beach time.
We just want to see palm trees, drink coconut water out of a coconut, and like be in that whole environment, like the ambiance of like the Mexico or like Spanish music playing, or wherever you go and you have that music playing and everyone's by the pool or the beach and listening to the water, the sun beaming on you. Like it's just like, it's just
I
so.
know. It's like I could feel it, but I can't. I can think about it, but it feels so far away. Like we mentioned, Alicia and I are really big travelers. You know, Alicia has, from what I know, you've traveled a lot, like growing up with your family and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
started traveling a bit older. Like I started traveling, I went to India, I went to England, I went to
Yeah.
Paris, and where else? Probably like the US with my parents, but that was kind of it. There wasn't any like exploration going on there. But I did once I did start traveling with my friends and stuff like that, it was a whole new world. I feel like there's two types of people. There are people who rather like two types of spenders, right? There's ones
Yeah.
that are like kind of like you rather save money so you can travel and spend that money, like spend money on experiences, and then there's people who like to spend money on things, right? Um you're a
Okay.
little bit of a both. You're a little bit of a both.
No. I was actually gonna say, okay, so it's funny because I was just having a talk about this with another girlfriend the other day on the phone, and I feel like there's two types of people. There's the type of people who will spend the big ticket to stay at a nice all-inclusive or a nice, like if we're talking about all-inclusives, that will
Yeah.
spend like the 1800 to stay somewhere really nice for the
Mhm.
experience, have the good food, and like mainly the experience and the drinks and not be watered down. As opposed to there's some people who would just like the idea of traveling but won't put the money in. Or there's people that'll say, "Oh, I'm going to travel," but they never do it because they never put the money in it because they just can't justify paying
100%.
over 1,200 too. So that's
But
what I
then
thought you were
they'll
going to say.
go, but then they'll go and they'll spend like $100 on a dinner here, $100 there, $100 there. And I'm just like, but you could have like gone and traveled, like the things that you could have done with this money. So I know
Yeah,
you and I are definitely those people that we want to enjoy our travel. We're willing to spend the money on it because we're all about the experience. And
definitely.
we've traveled a lot of places. I've been to Asia, I've been to Europe, the islands, done the all inclusives. But traveling has kind of like opened up my mind And, and that's why I do believe it's so important because we just kind of stay in our bubbles here with our immediate circle, family, friends. But then, and, we can say like we're cultural because,
Yeah.
Canada is very multicultural, but you don't really get to experience that culture until you go to that country and speak to the people and eat their food and live like not day to day their lives because we are on vacation. So we're not really getting the reality of it, but you see their culture and then you see what you
Yeah.
like and what you appreciate, right?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. And that's what it is. It's learning about other people's culture. And I
Mhm.
feel like you're more cultured when you adapt and are able to open up your mind to understanding how people live to like on a day by day basis. So whether you're going to a third world country, because we're so lucky to live in North America, which is a first world country, you're seeing how other people still have a smile on their face, but they may live on the
Mhm.
streets. And that has brought so much perspective for like I know both of us because we mentioned
Yeah.
that going on trips and stuff is that that's kind of something we took away that people even don't you were saying on one of your Asia trips that they didn't want a tip. They just their smiles are the tip,
Mhm.
and that's such a beautiful thing to hear that money isn't what's driving them, but it's just the experience and being around people and having a good time, good company, that saying, right? So
Yeah.
it's really beautiful to see that within cultures too. And then being able to remind ourselves when we come back home to the hustle and bustle Monday to Friday, 9 to 5s, that we need to be humble and be like realize we're blessed, like hashtag blessed life,
Yeah.
but and take that gratitude too, right? So definitely, I agree with you 100% on that. It's great to see other worlds. It might be out of your comfort zone if you're going into a third world country. I know, like for Raman and I, we both have been to India, and that's a little extreme for some people who may not understand the culture. And there's some Indians who
Mhm.
don't even go to India, right? They've
Mhm.
never been and they're scared. It's very much out of your comfort zone, but you got to be willing to try to see what it's like to experience it. If you stay in your everyday, how are you ever going to know what's out there?
I just never really understood people who don't like to travel. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's some people that I know that are all like, oh, yeah, I want to go see this place. I want to go see this place. But then, like, there are those people who don't actually ever do it. They just talk about it and they don't
Yeah,
ever do it. And then there's those people that just like literally do not make plans. They don't even like make plans to be like, oh, I want to travel. And I never really understood that because I was like, why would you want to experience only one place? Because you know how they say, like, reading books basically opens your mind, right, to
yeah,
different ideas, right? And basically, going to different places opens up your mind to, I don't want to say more experiences because it does, but
yeah.
like it opens up your mind to,
Other lifestyles.
how about it just opens up your mind?
Yeah, I like that.
Because
You come outside of your box,
yeah,
basically.
like when I picture people who don't travel, I just literally, yeah, picture them in a box. Like visually, I'm picturing them in a box. And people who do travel, who do go to different places, try different food, different culture, and kind of like, are adaptable to those kind of things, I see like their mind is filled with like
Open.
rainbows and sunshine. Like that's just visually how I picture it. I just feel like you're smarter. You become smarter.
Yeah, you do. And it's emotional intelligence too, right?
Yeah.
You're able to like be self-aware too of other cultures. So when you do meet people in the workforce and they say they're from this country and they're new and like living in Canada, it's a melting pot. So we have new immigrants coming in all the time. This gives
Mhm.
you, especially when we work in HR, that ability to relate to them and make them feel comfortable
Mhm.
because we can be like, hey, I've been there. Oh my gosh, your food is so
Mhm.
amazing. And be able to relate and make them feel like a little piece of home is with them because it's something
Yeah.
so new to them, right? Being here when it's so normal
Yeah.
for us.
Or it's like if it's a country that you really want to visit, and then like I've been like, oh my God, I've always wanted to go there. And then they're like, please come, you'll have a place to stay and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I never understood why people don't travel. And I do think like when you are married, like a part of both the husband and wife need to like traveling because
Oh,
either
yeah.
two things can happen, right? Either like if one of them doesn't like traveling, the other person can get sucked into that lifestyle of not traveling, or something good can come out of it where the person can get sucked into the traveling lifestyle, right? But I mean, it definitely helps when both people are travelers. I know like I'm going to turn Tim into actually he likes traveling, but I'm going to turn him into like a major traveler.
Yeah.
But like we've been to a lot of places, Alicia. So what is your your let's say your top two places? Because I feel like it's hard to pick one top trip. But what is your favorite top two trips that you've had?
I'm like, I
What
don't
is
even remember where I've been. Let me think. I'm trying to think of memories. So one definitely for me is in the North American experience was a road trip. And that was the entire West Coast from BC all the way down to California. And that was something that my I did with my family and my mother forced us to do it because I was a
oh
teenager. But I still remember everything about that trip. I remember driving all the way down the coast and like when you see it in the movies and the shows, you're on the highway of the cliff and the water
yeah,
beach. We literally did that drive. And
nice.
I will never forget that picture in my head. And that was like the one of the most beautiful drives in my life. And I hate car rides. So one
Yeah.
of those are definitely my favorite where I got to see all the way from Canada to like Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, a little bit of LA. We were able to do all that, and it was so,
Mhm.
so amazing. We did on the span, I think, of 12 days, but like just being in San Francisco and seeing the culture there is very different than the LA culture because it's so, so different.
Yeah.
You go out your San Francisco, like I remember us being there and it was freezing cold and it was like August. And they're like,
Oh,
yeah, it's like it's cold here because of the bay. And
yeah.
like you would think it's hotter there in August, but it's
Yeah.
not. We had to go buy jackets. It was freezing. And that's
Oh,
something
wow.
that happens in August all the time there.
And that's
It's
something
like,
you learn when you go there.
yeah, exactly. So that's one local in North America. I'd have to say, there's a lot on my list I didn't get to do before pandemic. Like I would love to say Europe would be one, but I didn't get to go because I can
But
see
that's
myself
okay
over here.
because now it's on your list for after, right?
I'd have to say maybe Germany because I was able to see a lot of castles. So I did see part of like Europe. My dad from India went to Germany, and
Nice.
so we were there for a little bit, a couple of days, and trying the food, and I love chocolate, and getting to experience some of the culture, and then seeing the castles is something I took away that was really, really phenomenal.
I know. I love like the architecture in Europe. It just
Yeah.
makes you feel like you're somewhere else in the world.
That's what I'm dying to see next. And the technology in Germany is really phenomenal. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm all pro Volkswagen, Audi, Samsung.
Oh my God.
Um,
When I was in Germany, I went like bike riding there.
did you? That's so cool.
We
Yeah,
went on a
no.
bike riding tour. And then we actually saw a racist guy. But anyways, that's a different story.
Oh, you see that a lot too. And then
In
Caribbean
Germany, yeah.
wise, I definitely have to say
I was gonna say, are you gonna say Jamaica because you got married there?
no, I'm gonna say Costa Rica. Um,
Okay. You do love
I
Costa Rica.
Yeah, I loved Costa Rica. I think the culture was so beautiful. The fact that everyone speaks English was phenomenal. Like for a third world
Mhm.
country, they're being taught IT and they're known for their IT schools and being taught English. And they're saying pura vida. Like that, I'll never let
Yeah.
go. And I love that. So that's going to be one of my favorites because the rainforest was just so beautiful, fresh fruits. And like people are so humble there and so kind that the
The
culture was really
air
nice.
in Costa Rica is different.
Yeah,
It's different.
definitely.
It's literally fresh air. Like you will I remember coming back from Costa Rica and as soon as I got off the airport, I think I remember saying the air is different. Like I felt the air like on my
I believe you.
skin, like everything. Like I hadn't bit like I have a lip biting habit. I didn't bite my lips at all there and I came back and the dryness and everything here, I was like, oh well,
There
that
was
was short-lived.
I went like during monsoon, so everything was very green. And one thing I have to say, every night there was this beautiful breeze, like one of the most beautiful,
Yeah.
refreshing breezes. So I do agree with you on that. What about you? What would you say?
You
Your
know what
top
my
three?
favorite trip is. You know, everybody knows.
Yeah.
My favorite trip is one that I took in 2018, and it was
Yes.
to Bali, Indonesia.
Yeah.
Um,
I
it
regret
was
not joining that trip.
it was the most beautiful experiences of my life. Every trip I've gone to has just been a vacation. This is one that I came back from with different perspective, different appreciation. The people there were so absolutely humble. And, you go to an all inclusive, you stay at the resort, everyone's nice and whatever. But obviously going to a different country, like across the world, this was different for us, right? I've only ever
Yeah.
had done like the all inclusives mainly, or like tours, but this was, going and having, it was just like what you mentioned before. The people there were just so happy to help you. And it brought them happiness and like just everything about their culture. Guys, I know everyone's all like Thailand, Thailand, and
Yeah.
they're like, that's kind of like the most touristy place that people go to. If I had to choose between Thailand and Bali, I would 100% say go to Bali. Do not waste your money on Thailand. It is too touristy and polluted, and not everybody spoke English in Thailand, which was the weirdest thing ever. But in Bali, everyone spoke English. Like, even if it was
Wow.
broken English, everyone spoke English. And the food was one of the best foods I've ever had anywhere.
Yum.
Um, it was just so amazing. So my number one spot would be Bali. And then I don't know, I want to say 2014 or 2013, I went on a Europe trip with Karen.
Yeah.
Um, Such an amazing experience. It was one of I remember our tour guide, he was like, you guys are psychopaths because this is one of the fastest based like trip. Like basically we'd be
Wow.
like in a country, then in another country, then in another country. So it was a very like fast paced trip. We had to sleep on the bus, right? So you had to like, there was no opportunity to be like, oh, I'm going to take a nap on my trip. No, because it was so fast paced. But it was so amazing, like to experience the Europe culture and like different countries. So I do want to like really highlight this for you guys. If you guys are big travelers, it's a company called Kantiki. No, they're not sponsoring us, which they should.
They're
Um,
really good. I've heard about
they
them.
are very good. They are a little bit overpriced. I will say that if you do backpack through Europe yourself, you will pay less, 100%.
Yeah.
But you go on Kentucky for the experience, right? A lot of the places that we went to, I thought about it. And I'm like, if me and my cousin went alone, honestly, we'd be like just two girls in a bar, like that's it. But our tour group was 50 people. So
Wow.
everywhere you go, you're with 50 people all the time, right? So
Yeah.
there would be places where, like, because in Europe, if it's not busy, they'll just close down the bar. It's not like, oh, we close down at this time. So
Yeah.
we would have like bars open up for us because we'd be like, we're 50 people coming, and they'd be like, come, come, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the experience of Kentucky, that's what you're paying for. 100% you could do the trip in half the price, but you pay for I don't know, the community, the people, the joy, like, the inclusion. And it's not a trip that you take with like a group of people. It's something you can go on alone. So
Yeah.
like so many people on this Kentucky trip went alone. Like
Wow.
because you're with a group. Why do you need to
Yeah.
go with somebody? So I was like, I remember I was like, if I didn't have anybody to go with at that time, I was like ready to go alone. I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And so
Yeah.
many people went alone, and it was such an amazing experience. And out of Europe, like I would say my favorite spots were Amsterdam
Hmm.
and Paris.
Okay.
I definitely think I'll go back to Paris, like in my lifetime for sure. It was like the first time I was young with my parents. I wasn't legal age to drink. I couldn't do anything. This time around was like, we went to Moulin Rouge, like we went
That's
to,
so cute.
all the places, we went to bars. Like it was just such a different experience. So
Yeah.
like going to some places, I do believe like going to as an adult makes more sense. So you can kind of like enjoy all the adult amenities.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are my favorite two trips. And I do think like
What's your favorite
they
Caribbean?
oh my Dominican Republic.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been 3 times. I'll probably go again. I know I say like I'm not gonna go back. I'll go back in a heartbeat. Like it's just their culture, their like, it's just the type of people they are. Like I love everything about Dominican Republic. I've been there 3 times, and I'm not sick of it yet.
I can tell. I know the last time you went to a party resort too. And I knew you had a
Yeah.
blast there too.
It's just
Um,
like I feel like the people are so nice, the food is good. They're just so humble and down to earth. And I think like that's what makes me keep going back. I've just never really had a bad experience there.
yeah, definitely. Okay, do you have one that you didn't like?
Oh, a vacation spot that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Uh, hmm. I don't want to say there was no place I've been to that I didn't like.
Really?
Right? Like, yeah, like I never went to a place and came back and was like, oh, I hated that place.
Well,
Like
not
that's
hate, but like kind of wish you didn't
did
spend all that money.
differently.
Yeah.
Okay, no regrets in going at all. Something I do wish I did differently, and I know you and I had this discuss or we want to have this discussion whether it's like what's better to go to an all inclusive or
What I feel
going
like you're
like
gonna talk about Cuba.
oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'll probably never go back to Cuba.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, thanks. Okay, no, not talking shit about Cuba. Cuba was amazing, and honestly, it's just that okay. So Cuba's like a great place to go when you're broke. Honestly, I've been to Cuba twice. No regrets at all. It was great both times. Both times were really different experiences. Um, it's just, I want the good food. I want
Yeah.
the
You want the
it's like
whole
what we said.
experience.
I want the whole experience. Both times we went to Cuba, it was cheap, it was easy. But the food is shit. The food is shit. Like
But you're paying for the beach.
you're paying for the beach basically, and the beach
Yeah.
is amazing. But
Yeah.
everything else, like I just rather stay in a better place, like a better I don't even like when you go to Cuba, you have to stay in a five-star place. Like you can't stay in a less
Yeah.
than five-star place. And
No.
even their five-star is like it's like a three-star in Dominican.
Exactly. Yeah. So true.
Was
Um,
there a place that you did not like?
yes.
Was it Cuba?
No, it wasn't Cuba. It was Bahamas. I was
What?
actually really disappointed. Yeah, so Amit and I went to Bahamas right after our Jamaica trip because we
Mhm.
felt like we still needed time together
Yeah,
and alone.
yeah.
So we went to Bahamas, and I think I was very disappointed because I didn't really look too much into Bahamas prior, but I was disappointed that the culture was very Americanized, and I there was only very little glimpses of local life we got to like experience, but otherwise everything was very Americanized. So I wasn't too crazy about it. It's only 2 hours away from Florida, which kind of makes sense why it's so Americanized.
Yeah.
Um, but we did have the opportunity to and they're all about like celebrities. So like literally, we heard like, oh, Will Smith comes to this resort and this and that, and we were just like, okay, like you don't usually hear that when you go to Mexico, Dominican.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then we took a taxi to downtown to
Mhm.
do some local market shopping, and then we were told that by the water there was like a really great local restaurant because it's like, people don't really know about it. So Amit's really good at talking to people to find out good cigars. And then because he likes to go to the locals for cigars, and then he likes
Mhm.
to find out where's like really a great drink or, quick snack kind of thing, right? Especially if it's seafood. So then we ended up going to this place that was like under a bridge and it overlooks the water. It had one of the best views of the entire resort. You could see Atlantis from there, everything. But I was just so disappointed. Like the food was good, but I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in America. Like I don't feel like I'm
Yeah,
somewhere tropical.
like
And
you
like,
want to be somewhere different,
yeah, so I was
not like in
pretty
the States.
disappointed. Yeah, I was very disappointed by that trip. We came back saying the same thing that it wasn't the greatest. A
Mhm.
dollar was a dollar. Like, US dollar is a US
Oh my
dollar
God,
there.
that's how like Thailand was. I was kind of disappointed, and the
Yeah,
prices were like the same as what we would pay here. I was so
literally.
confused.
Yeah, so like we are so used to going to Caribbean trips and giving $2, $3 tip and that being a
Mhm.
lot for someone's pocket, as opposed to here it wasn't. A dollar
Did you
was a
give like
dollar.
$5?
Literally, I was tipping $5 to $10, and so
Oh,
we were
damn.
kind of surprised too, and it wasn't the greatest service either. So yeah,
That's very interesting to know. I
yeah,
think it's important for people to know when they want to go, when they need to go to like an all-inclusive vacation versus like a tour like Kontiki versus um like a place like Bali or Thailand, right? Where you do have to get an Airbnb and you do have to make your own like itinerary and your own, everything, right? You have to book yourself.
Yeah.
So like I feel like it's important to know who you're traveling with, know your travelers, right? Like you don't the
Yeah.
worst thing that could happen is you end up in a place with people that are like not on the same page as you, and then you're like kind of stuck. And then you're like, "Oh, I spent all this money." And
Yeah.
then it's not like up to your expectations, right?
Exactly. And that's the worst you can do.
Hmm.
And then there's, the people that go on the cruises and only care for the cruises. And I am not a
I've never
cruise
been on a
person.
cruise.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Like, I don't, I get it, your own water, but I'm that girl who's like, I would like to be on the beach. And then if I want to leave the resort, I want to be able to leave the resort or the island. I don't like the idea of just being stuck to the cruise. And
Yeah,
I think I would get like seasick.
I
B,
think
I
so
have
too.
to pay for alcohol.
Oh my God, they're not all inclusive?
No, you have to pay for alcohol.
That's sad.
Yeah. So the only cruise I heard is like worth your while is like when you have kids and you do the Disney cruise. It's very expensive, but it's like amazing experience. But other than that, I've never been interested in cruise. I know Amit's best friend is all about cruises. He's done the cruise to like he's traveled a lot. Like in his
Mhm,
first couple of years of marriage, they used to leave on a Thursday and come home Monday. So they've
mhm.
done it all. Like Dubai, they've done all of Europe. They used to do the cruises in there. They've done the Africa ones, the safari ones.
Oh,
Like
nice.
he has a spoon collection from like every place he's been. So it's like
Oh, nice.
ridiculous his list. Yeah.
I have
So
a shot glass collection, everyone, where I collect the
yeah,
shot glass
you
from every place. So now every time people go to places too, they get me a shot glass.
yeah. So,
I forgot. I forgot to be honest that cruises even exist.
I'm not into
I
cruises.
actually
So would
forgot.
you ever
Like
do one?
no,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't.
me
I'm not
either.
into it. Like I'm not like I'm like you. Like I'm not into sitting on a boat. No matter how big that boat is, I feel like
Yeah,
maybe I would get seasick. I have the fear of like having a Titanic moment.
me too. Me too. And mind you, I'm also scared of planes too, Ramen, like because I get sick on planes and stuff. But I still like, I pop a gravel and I'm like, Alicia, you can do this.
Oh my God, that is the secret to like an easy
Yeah,
plane trip. Just have a gravel and you will KO. Like I'm actually good
yeah,
at sleeping in planes regardless. I don't need anything. But if you are a bad plane person, like gravel, that is the key. Like
it is.
that's what, because Tim can't sleep on planes.
Yeah,
He'll be like on awake on like a 30-hour flight
yeah.
the entire time. And that was our secret that we discovered. Like we need to get him a gravel and he passed out. Um, but yeah, I know we were talking about like, there's some people, I feel like we've all gone through phases or we go through phases where it's like all inclusive feels like the best thing because it's affordable, right? Like
Yeah,
if you're not a traveler and like you're starting to look to travel, it's like, yeah, all inclusives are easy because you're paying a flat rate for your
I
trip
get
that includes
everything.
like, yeah, it includes your flight, your stay, your food, your alcohol, and then any excursions that you do, you pay extra there. But then like everything is included. So it's easy, right? It's like, I don't know.
It's
It's just like,
safe
I get it.
too. You have
It's safe.
security. You don't have, strangers walking around. So it's also
Exactly.
safe, especially if you're someone young starting at 18, 19 traveling and you want to
Mhm.
go to an all-inclusive resort. I think that's a great way to start too.
Yeah. And I do think all inclusives are good for like larger groups
Oh
of
yeah.
travelers, right? Because like what you said, it's easy and it's safe. You're all in the same place. You don't have to worry about like is so and so lost or where
Or
the hell
come
are
like,
they?
did they drink too much and like fall in a bush?
Yeah, they'll be somewhere, like somewhere on the resort. But I definitely what I've learned is any large group of like a large group of people going on a trip, like I would only do all inclusive
Me
because
too.
Thailand was like the first trip that I went that wasn't an all inclusive with so many people. And yeah, like I came back with how you felt about Bahamas. Like I was disappointed in a lot of things about Thailand. Like a lot of people didn't speak English there, which was the weirdest thing because I was like, isn't it such a hot tourist spot? Like
Yeah.
so A lot of people didn't speak English there. The currency was like really high. You're paying like the same amount for food and drinks as you were here. So that was a little disappointing. But going with a large group of people, everyone wants to do different things, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't get to do some of the things that I wanted to do. That now, like, I do have a different mentality. I did learn from coming back. I was like, if I'm saying I'll never do this again, but say it does happen again, I would like follow my own itinerary. Like I would, if there's something I want to do, I would just go and do it and not wait for everybody because there's people that like to sleep in. And like
Yeah.
then there's people like me who are like awake. Me and Tim are awake in the morning, and then like nobody's awake until like half the day is gone. And then him and I are like, oh, we could have done so much like
Yeah,
in this time
definitely.
already. So like in a place like an all inclusive, you can go out and you could do your thing. You don't
You
have to
can
wait on
you can
people.
go
But then
have
like
breakfast and be on the beach already.
exactly. But then when you're going on a trip where you have to plan the itinerary and then you're going with such a large group, and that was like the difficult thing about Thailand. It was just like there were so many people that wanted to do so many different things, and it was just so hard to like be like,
Yeah,
let's be productive. But like Bali, it was only six of us that went, which was
that's
such an amazing
perfect.
number of people. And you know, we were all on the same page, same wavelength. And that's important too. You do need to go travel with people who are like on the same length as you, right? They're not
Yeah,
gonna be like, you know, the people that don't want to do anything and then you're like super adventurous because then you're like, fuck, right? But
exactly.
so it's important to know who you're traveling with. And if you don't know where you're traveling with, just go with a safe bet and go to an all inclusive.
Yeah, I think a backup plan is always good. I agree with you on that because everyone is different. Some people, like, I've been on girls' trips and like I'm up earlier than them. One wants to
Mhm.
do her makeup, full foot cake face before like the pool. It's gonna
Yeah.
get wet, sweetie. I don't understand. So like I just don't
I do my
understand this.
makeup too, but I take like 10 minutes to do my
Yeah, me
makeup.
too. Like I have vacation makeup and it's like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a tinted moisturizer with a little bit of highlight and a lipstick and I'm good to go and maybe waterproof
Yeah.
mascara. But like 10 minutes, not fucking half an hour full cake face. So
Yeah.
like that's my other thing. Like I don't get people.
I was so happy for your wedding, like that I had
I know.
like I know. I was, oh my God. So for
You and
Alicia's
Darshita.
wedding, there were like four girls of us that went together. And I'm so happy with my roommate that I had there, Shida, because her and I would be like up, ready, spending the day, swimming, this and that. And the other two girls in the other two room, like other room, were literally like,
Sleeping.
they were still in the room or they took a midday nap. I was so confused. I'm like, who takes a midday nap on a vacation in the room? I would take it on the beach.
Yeah,
Or
okay, that's my thing about people. Okay, you pay to go somewhere else, right? And then there's people that sleep until 10, 11, 12. You miss breakfast now.
you miss
And
breakfast.
yeah, and it's like I would rather sleep on the beach. I would rather wake up earlier, have my breakfast, go for a swim,
Mm.
and then get on the beach and pass out there. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand. So
Yeah.
people do not waste your vacation. Like that's the one week you should wake up and you're like, I need my sleep. Go sleep on the beach. Like I
Yeah.
don't get it. And if you're
I don't get it either.
hungover, drink some coconut water.
I know, right? Just drink some coconut water and get another drink and call it a day. That's the best cure to a hangover. But I do feel like traveling is important to everybody, not just
Yeah.
for like the experience, but also for relaxation and your peace of mind, right? We're so caught up in our, most of us, I mean, I would say okay, this is like my made up statistics. Okay. These are totally fake news right now. But I'm going to say my fake statistics say that there's not a lot of people who can relax, find that relaxation that they would find on a vacation where they live. And
True.
I do hope that people in the pandemic and that, but even during the pandemic, Alicia,
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned to relax here, enjoy my time here, enjoy the beach here because I'm not going on a vacation anytime soon. So, like, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna
Exactly.
enjoy my space here, right? Like we went to the beach on Sunday. I'm
Yeah.
gonna enjoy my time here. But there's people who literally cannot relax unless like they are going on a vacation or something like that. So I feel like a vacation is important to disconnect and kind
Yeah.
of just like find time to sometimes it might be just find timing to like drink and relax and just kind of like disconnect from everyone else, and sometimes it's like for your own peace of mind or to recollect your own thoughts or just kind of like figure out your own life kind of thing, and
You
sometimes you
need to
need that space.
refresh.
Yeah, I feel like people need a refresh. So vacations kind of do that, right? And if you haven't been on vacation, then I really, really, really hope that like you're getting that peace of mind here, because and I think it's because like when you go to, for example, an all inclusive, we don't have like, we have Wi-Fi, but we don't have like people calling us or
Yeah.
texting us, or
Or
you're
work.
not really, or work, or
Like I
there's not
don't,
really, I don't really even go on like social media. I don't
me
do
either.
anything. Like even if I go on Wi-Fi, it's like, is everyone alive, or is there, do I
Yeah.
have any messages? But for the most part, I remember when I went to one of my Dominican trips,
You
I
left
had
your
my
phone in the
phone
safe.
for
I knew
7
you
days,
then.
the whole
Yeah,
7 days.
I
Like
remember that.
I
I'm
did
like, is
not
she
need my
alive?
phone. Yeah, I literally, I had my phone locked up in the safe for 7 days. I didn't need it. Like that was my disconnect. I was like disconnecting with the world, with my outer
From the
world,
world.
and
Yeah. Being in the
and you're
moment.
trying to find peace of mind. And especially when you have such a go 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 life, and most of us obviously have like a Monday to Friday routine, and the weekend is not enough, let's be real, right? It's 2 days, you have your house chores, you have your other priorities, and you do need that vacation to, go out and like clear
Yeah.
your mind.
I agree 100% with you. So, guys, honestly, I hope even if, like, we're in Ontario and, we're getting our second dose soon, and we're already in the works of planning our next vacation
Yeah.
because we're ready to go back. And I really hope all of you are too. So, if you are deciding to get the COVID whatever it's called, vaccine or not, you should still go ahead and travel. Be safe if you're not, but definitely do it. Um, Economy needs to open up again. Most importantly, we need to
Hmm.
get back to whatever normal life is for us, and this is part of it. So get out there, explore. If you haven't even explored Canada, you need to do that too if you live in Canada, or even like our neighbors, the States. I know the dollar's a little higher there, so kind of sucks. But even the States, I've been to so many cities there that I'm in love with, and they're great. So
Hmm.
they're nearby. Do some road trips. Not all trips need to be expensive. There can be trips that you road trip to, and like I said, if you live in Canada, it is beautiful from the west coast to the east coast. Yet I have not done the east coast. I'm dying to do that next. If they didn't have a quarantine on this whole time, like the quarantine 14 days, I would have totally been there.
Yeah.
But do it. Get out there.
Fuck
Get in
our
a
life in
car.
Canada. Just fuck our life in
I
Canada right now.
know, I know. But get out there, be at the beach, do things that make you happy. Um, we all need R&R. It's so, so important, and more so after this pandemic.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So go out there. Honestly, a lot of people worry about the dollar number on the price. Promise you. Like it's true though, right? People
You
they
don't look
cancel a lot of
back,
their plans because of the dollar amount, but you're not, trust
but
me, you're not going to look back and think about the
yeah,
money you spend. You're going to look back
never.
and think about what a good time you had on that vacation. Not once you're going to be like, "Oh, I hate it." Like that was not, I don't know, it's
I
just
never
you're
think
going to
about
have it.
how much money. Me and I never sit there and go, "Oh, we spent this much when we went there." No, we think
Yeah.
about our memories. Like I've never ever said that. So I definitely agree with you on
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, 100%. Just for a second, let go. Or, like, if you're saving up for some dumbass thing, just sacrifice that thing and go take a trip, whether it's by yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be an alone traveler.
Hmm.
But just
Be
just go do it.
smart.
Do it for you. Be
Yeah.
smart, yeah, but do it for you. Just all this is making me want to travel and book our next trip right
I
now for
know.
sure. But hope you guys are doing the same, and let us know where you guys are planning to travel to in the next couple of months when the pandemic is over. And for our US folks over there listening, we know you guys can travel and we are jealous over here.
Yeah.
Um so jealous of you guys.
So envious.
I know, and we're still in a lockdown here, but I see, all the folks in like Miami and all that stuff already enjoying
Florida.
life. So really jealous over here, but tell us what your plans are. You can email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com. And if you're not already following us on social media, you can follow us at Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Bye, friends.
Stay safe and travel on.
Yep.